My name is Nicole. I'm a photographer, videographer. I create content on social media, and today I'm going to review the Fujifilm X Half camera. But I would say, when I first got my hands on the camera and started playing around with it, I wanted one already. I wanted one of these to keep forever.
So exciting. Can't wait to play with this. Maybe I want to keep it.
This is not sponsored, and I also did not buy the camera. What I did was I went out to one of these camera rental shops and I rented it for a day. So I honestly only had a few hours of shooting time with this camera. And because, I'm really trying to shoot as much as possible, and also there is a film mode in this camera where you shoot it like a roll of 36 film. So I was really trying to finish up that 36 frames. So I would say that my photos are not the most like photography wise. It's not something that I'm super happy with every single picture. I just tried to shoot as quickly as possible. But it will also give you a good idea to see if you are thinking of getting this camera for capturing memories and daily memories on the go, what is it going to be like and what is it going to look like. Let's jump right into the Fujifilm X Half. I've also timestamped this whole video so you can jump to the parts that you think are interesting. The Fujifilm X Half has a 35mm equivalent lens and a 2.8 f-stop. The only dials on the camera is exposure or your f-stop, which is on the front dial. So there's no other buttons to adjust your ISO or shutter speed. The other buttons are for photo or whether you want to shoot video. And then there's this winder button thing that they created to emulate a film camera, and I'm going to talk about this film mode in a bit. What was it like shooting in film mode? But I'll say, like, first off the bat, using this camera, I thought it felt really nice in my hand. I could hold it in one hand. It was very easy and small, and I could like wind the film kind of like one-handed. It was easy to shoot and it was tiny. I like the size, I like the weight. I know a lot of people mentioned about how it's made of plastic and how they didn't really like that, but I think that actually the plastic they use is still quite nice, and everything feels very nice and smooth and nice to handle. But if you wanted to change like your ISO and or your shutter speed, you have to use the touch screen to kind of change it. It's not that quick because there are no dials on the camera for you to quickly make your adjustments. Now, I think one of the unique things is that this camera has a film mode, which it allows you to shoot in a way that mimics a half frame 35mm film camera. So like the lever and having to look through the viewfinder and shooting 36 frames film without really reviewing or knowing the result of what you captured until you finish your roll of film and develop it in a special Fujifilm X Half app that is created specifically for this camera. So when you shoot in film mode, the back screen just shows the information that is usually shown on a film camera, like what frame you are at, your focal point if you wanted to do a manual focus, or whether you wanted to put in the date into your photos, and you would have to look through the viewfinder to frame your shot. Once you shoot one shot, you have to wind the lever to advance to the next shot. It doesn't really actually do anything, but there were a few instances where I thought I had already wound my film to the next frame, but I just couldn't press the button. I couldn't press the shutter to go off, and then I had to like wind it again. The difference between an actual real film camera and this kind of fake button is that when you are shooting a real film camera, right, when you have wound the film properly before you press the shutter, you can feel the tension of the film being wound. So you would know that you have wound it and you press the shutter, and when you press the shutter, that releases the mechanism to let you know that you can wind on to the next film. So that was just like a tiny hiccup that happens every now and then when I don't know whether I have wound my film and I tried to take a shot and I can't snap a shot. Small issue, I don't know, maybe. And once you pick what roll of film simulation you wanted to go for, you will also have to stick to it. And there are other numbers of iteration, like you can do 36, you can do 52, and I think you can do 72. But I think for me, I don't know if I want to wait that long to see my roll of film, like 36 is like, sometimes even 36, I feel like I just wanted to expand my film quickly to see what I got. And when you finally finish your roll of film, how you develop it is you go into the app and basically press develop, and it will really develop. Like, it will take time to develop. It's not an instantaneous thing. And then you will get to see your images, and they'll give you like this film thumbnail for you to look at your whole roll overall, and then of course the individual pictures. In film mode, you cannot really adjust your shutter speed or your ISO. If you shoot on the actual film camera, you cannot change your ISO, but like for example, you can select a 1600 and then it would allow your shutter speed to be a little bit on the higher side. So if you're trying to shoot like children or people walking or running or some kind of motion subject, then shutter speed is important. Then you would prefer to have a higher shutter speed when you're shooting such subjects. So you can see sometimes I don't hold my camera long enough and I get a shutter blur in my photos. The video mode, I want to be honest and say like the video mode totally did not capture my attention at all. I had no inclination to want to use it. Here are some random clips of me using the video mode, but I didn't like any of the filters that came with it, and I don't know. Like, I wouldn't maybe use this camera really for the video mode. I didn't test it that extensively because of time limitations. On the first glance, I don't think the video is that great to work with. It does have a flash on the photo mode, and it also turns on as a video light on the video mode. I don't really like shooting with flash as much as I try to, but I think shooting on flash also makes me too prominent. It's like announcing myself that I'm taking photos. Like for example, I was queuing up for my lunch and I was trying to take a photo of the tomatoes, and I accidentally forgot that I had turned on my flash, and it was like boom, now everyone knows I am taking photos. I don't like that. I'm an introvert. I like to hide in the background. So let's wrap it up. I mean, the main question is, would I buy this camera? Personally, for me, I like to have some control on my shutter speed, and I also don't really enjoy shooting that wide, but that's just a personal preference. And if you are somebody who likes to shoot a little bit more cropped in, like 50 or 80, then this camera is not really suitable for that. Who this camera is for, if I didn't mind like splurging my money and just collecting cameras for fun, for the sake of it, and building my own camera like museum, and I bought this camera, I would say that I can foresee myself using it for a short while, but later on leaving it on the shelf. Only because I think that sometimes in a darker setting, for example, these photos that I shot while traveling on the train, you can see the quality of the image is really, really bad. It's worse than the iPhone, in fact. And for the price, I don't know if it justifies. If I had to sum up my review in one sentence, I would say that it's not a long-term camera, it's a pricey short fling. The end. Thank you for attending my TED Talk. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what kind of videos you would like to see more in the future. And if you've tried this camera, let me know your thoughts. Would you get this camera? Or are there alternatives to this camera that you would prefer to consider? That you have preferred, or you have tried, or you would recommend? Let me know in the comments below. And if you would like to see more of that creative, introvert, live content here on this YouTube channel, remember to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!